Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sade if you are new here. I talk about all things self-care, growing, girl chats, luxury, all of the womanly, feminine things that we all do enjoy. Please consider subscribing and give this video a big thumbs up. We are going to talk about maintaining soft power in hard times. The reason why this kind of came about is because I've really been working on getting through things in life a little bit more gracefully, trying to maintain my faith, trying to maintain my vision that I have for my life, even through the midst of hard times, heartbreak, trials and tribulations, all of those things. Working on my femininity has definitely been a huge thing for me this season of my life. For one, I'm transitioning into a different era in my life. I'm transitioning into my 30s very, very soon. I've transitioned into my career. I'm transitioning into being a girlfriend to now a fiance, and transitioning into the wife role, and just transitioning in what my place is within my life and what my place is with others, and just how I want to carry myself and how I want things to go. Soft power, I have learned that it is a lot harder than it looks. Women who make things look easy, it is actually quite difficult to maintain your health, to maintain poise, to maintain sophistication, to maintain your intelligence, to maintain your emotional intelligence, just to overall control your emotions, have a good outlook, control your perspective, and still maintain your discipline and your self-care, and continue to be that loving, nurturing person. It is a lot to juggle. I want to provide some characteristics, some traits that I have kind of found that have helped me during this journey. Like I mentioned just now, perspective is going to be the absolute key in maintaining grace through hard and difficult times. Perspective is what has led me to the point where I am today, where I can still have laughter, have joy, have, you know, enjoyment in a lot of things, even though, you know, I work a very stressful career as a nurse. I am in a very stressful, you know, transition into my womanhood. Things are changing. I'm changing. My body's changing. My face is changing. There's a lot of things changing, and a lot of things that can give you stress and can be negative if you allow them to be. And some things just are negative, okay? There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no sugarcoating it. There's no nothing. It is what it is, and that's how I feel about a lot of things. I either have a few choices to make. I can change what I can change, so therefore, you know, changing my schedule up, creating more time, or I can learn to be content with it until God gives me another plan, another step, another choice to make within my situation. Emotional intelligence. This by far, I mean, we talk about all the psychology on stuff and on paper, and like, it makes sense, but to actually live it out in real time, real life, it is a totally different ball game. To understand that most things that people say to us, most things that people do to us, most things in life, it is not personal. Having the emotional intelligence is really more so understanding others a little bit more, so that way you know how to regulate your emotions and know how to react in those situations, if that makes sense. So emotional intelligence is really truly just understanding emotions, understanding people, understanding different situations, and being a little bit more empathetic, so that way you know how to maintain your peace. You really have to think of your emotions as your bubble. What we maintain for ourselves, we have to think of it as our bubble. Our bubble is our peace. You have to maintain your peace at all times. When you feel yourself getting out of character, when you feel yourself just totally overwhelmed, burnt out, that is when things go haywire. That is when decisions are made that don't need to be made in that time. So it's very important for you to continuously be self-aware, but not to the point where it's just like you just too deep and you can't like have fun and you can't do X, Y, and Z, but also just understanding that sometimes it's not you, baby, and sometimes it is, but most of the time it's not personal. I want to piggyback off of just kind of understanding how things work and that hard times happen to us all. I want to get into the wisdom part. Definitely seeking wisdom in hard times is honestly the best thing that you can possibly do. We, especially me, okay, entering into a true grown woman era, our decisions are critical. Like we're not playing anymore. I am to the point where, yes, I'm going to make mistakes. I want my decisions to align with the purpose that God has for my life. I want them to align with the goals that I have in mind. Therefore, I'm making decisions based off of, is this going to be good for me emotionally? Is this going to be good for my relationships? Is this going to be good for my household, my home? Is this going to be good for my body? The whole 9 yards. When you start thinking about wise decisions, you are going to move through these difficult times with a little bit more grace, a little bit more softness, a little bit more of your femininity intact. Situations like this, they can harden you, they can make you become bitter, they can make you become resentful, they can make you become untrusting of others, and in doing so, it hardens you. I'm definitely working on keeping a softness about myself even through difficult times, and in doing so, I'm allowing myself to be vulnerable with others. When you're vulnerable, you have to come in a place where you're being vulnerable because you're being vulnerable and you're sharing, but you know where your strength comes from and you have faith in you. But when you don't have all of those things, when you don't have a good solid foundation that you've been working on, it is very easy to allow other people who don't have the same values as you to speak into your life and to affect the decisions that you make, especially when you feel like you're not strong enough to withstand difference of opinions. It took me a very long time to get to a point where I can truly allow myself to sit and have a conversation with someone, whether you're young, old, gray, my same age, whatever it is. I can truly listen to a different perspective without taking it as if like, well, I'm being defensive, and it's like, well, I don't agree with that, and I don't, like, okay, like, I have nothing to prove. I'm going to make the decisions that I feel that God is leading me to make. Yes, I'm going to make mistakes. Yes, maybe I should have listened, you know, that I told you so kind of thing. But it's like, you really have to take it and you have to make it into your own. You don't want to be a person that is allowing everyone else outside of you to make decisions for you for your life. You definitely want to keep reconnecting. You have to be persistent with reconnecting with yourself, reconnecting with your intentions, reconnecting with God, reconnecting with your emotions, reconnecting with, like, literally, it's going to take some discipline in this reconnecting process, especially when we have phones, especially when we have TikTok that gives us endless funny content that we're interested in, just mindless scrolling, mindless watching TV, mindless eating, all the mindless things to escape our reality, because things get stressful. But it is very important and very crucial to keep reconnecting. At one point in time, I felt like I was so connected, like, y'all, like, even my content was different. Like, I was on like a spiritual high, like I was hungry for Christ, like I was really like in the gym consistently, I was eating good, I felt good, I was listening to positive information all day, every day. I loved it, I was gobbling it up. But life got busy to the point where I was not reconnecting with myself, I was not reconnecting with God, I was not reconnecting with my body, I was not stretching, I was not drinking enough water. Literally, things spiraled very quickly on all areas. I gained 35 pounds. My face was different. I felt like I looked dull. I looked dry. I didn't look as vibrant as I once did. My thought processes weren't the same. I was way more short with my temper. I wasn't as understanding as I normally am. Just didn't have that spark, that je ne sais quoi, that hunger for just life and beauty and all things that just made me happy, honestly. We really have to have systems in place that actually can cultivate the actual life that we want. And when you hear a lot of content that speaks on the life that you want, the life that you want is usually centered around materials. And I will tell you, as a material girl, I am a material girl. I have a lot of the materials. I will love luxury for the rest of my life. But your system should not be put in place to only acquire success. Because if you only strive to acquire success, that is only what you're going to get. Success does not mean great relationships, a healthy family, a healthy household. That you're not dealing with trauma of abuse and heartbreak and rejection and resentment and all of those things. I will say the perks of success is that you're able to buy back your time a little bit. You're able to get a massage. You're able to have your hair done. You're able to invest in good skincare. You're able to invest in smelling good and feeling good. You're able to invest in the experiences. I'm not saying that that's not important, but it cannot be your end all be all to everything that you are, because when these hard times come, the love, the support, the community, the journaling, your relationship with God, having peace, having solitude, that is what's going to carry you through the ebbs and flows of life. That brings me into my next point, and it is to rely on others. Whew, this took me so long to figure out. I am so glad, because I would not be here today if it weren't for my independence, if it wasn't for my drive, my ambition. I've always been an ambitious person. I've always been a person that like would watch HGTV and said that's gonna be my home one day, would look at all the magazines. I love this. I'm gonna have a Vera Wang dress. Like, I've always been the person that I am today. It's always been in me. But what I was lacking, and I don't want to say lacking, but what I was not feeding and allowing to grow was relying on others for support, relying on others for relationship and community. I was always a very like, don't get me wrong, I don't trust everybody, but I allow people to show who they are first rather than me just being closed off. Did not rely on others a lot. I was very ambitious. It was very much so grind, grind, grind. Do what I have to do, wake up at 4 a.m., do this, and then I have my schedule planned out, mapped out. I go to sleep, I tackle it again because I have a dream, I have a goal, I have a destination. In doing that, I have really diminished a lot of my femininity. And I say that because I feel like femininity, when I truly think of a feminine woman, I think of a woman who is truly involved within the community, truly giving back to others and uplifting others. And they just look like they take care of themselves as well. Like, they just always look like just skin just glistening, just very natural, loves to cook real food. Like, that was always the vibe that femininity gave. And I was very much so in a grind, 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 survival, fast fix self-care, fast fix food, fast fix. It was fast fix for everything else, but all of my attention was going toward the idea of success. Relying on others allows you to see that life isn't all about you. Life isn't all about a destination. It is about the journey, the people you meet, the relationships that you build, just overall the impact that you have on your environment. I just love that so much because it really, like, I'm low-key getting kind of emotional because that's just truly my life's purpose, is to be there for others, but not in a way to where I feel like it is diminishing me. And we will get into that in another video, because nursing is currently diminishing your girl, okay? And there's no perfect way or recipe for each individual. But the whole point is just being true, your true authentic self within a community, within an environment, and cultivating that and surrounding yourself with that and allowing that to carry you through difficult times. You do not have to do things alone. You need to self-care like it is nobody's freaking business. And it's gonna be hard. You're not going to want to feel like it. It's not going to feel good per se. It may not even feel like it's doing anything, right? After a very, very crappy day, you get in the bathtub and you scrub your body and you lotion your body and you play a little music. It may not, you're still gonna be a little sad by the time you go to bed. But in staying consistent and staying disciplined and taking care of yourself when you are down, when you're low, when you don't feel well, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, is going to pay off in the long run. Because one thing about it, this too shall pass. Bad times do not last always. In doing so, you will allow yourself to help with the creative process and strategy and getting out of that situation. And also, once that is lifted, you're not starting back at ground one. I just truly was not taking care of any aspect of what I should have been taking care of. And I don't want that for you guys. So just self-care like it's nobody's business. Even if you have an inkling of time, drink that tea, take that bath, take that walk, listen to that music, listen to a good show, watch Eat, Pray, Love. Like, it always does it for me. Do the things that are going to replenish you and restore you, and keep doing it because it will pay off. I promise you. You are your greatest investment. It will never come back void. Save the best for last because I want this to be the closing point. You need to have faith. You cannot truly move forward the way that you want to move forward and seeing the purpose that God has on your life in creating the life that you co-creating the life that you really truly see for yourself, the vision that God himself gave to you. You cannot have it without faith. Faith is so important, especially in the hard times in your life. Faith is going to see you through. Faith is going to give you hope. Faith is going to have you acting as if things have already happened, even though you have not seen the results yet. Faith got me filming this video right now. Okay, faith got me, you know, making adjustments to my career right now. Faith has me stepping out of my comfort zone because I know that God has my back. I know that all things are working for my good. I know that I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And knowing that even though you may not feel it, but in believing, okay, well, that could, let me just have the audacity to believe it a little bit, you're going to move differently. You're going to treat people differently. You're going to not get jealous when you see other people's success happening for them. You're going to, you know, step out and have a little bit more confidence in the way that you show up in the world. And I just want to leave you guys with that. I'm so happy that I was obedient and I filmed this video because honestly, it felt like it needed to be said. I love you guys so much. Stay encouraged. I will see you in my next video. If you like this video, give me a big thumbs up and then leave me a comment down below of what do you feel would be something that, because I love interacting, like tell me what you feel like can enhance soft power in the midst of hard times. I love you guys and I'll see you later.